Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this is another rant video. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I've only done a few of these on the channel, and most of them have been about TNA. And I don't even watch like TNA religiously. I watch know most of the stories, try to figure out the people because they obviously are, working together with, with NXT. I don't even know if you want to say working together anymore after what I'm about to talk about, but like why did this happen? Why do we have two NXT stars as champion? We'll start with Trick Williams. Obviously Trick Williams is a young talented wrestler, so it really does make sense for him to have won the title at some point. I don't have any qualms with him winning it. It was shocking nobody thought that this type of partnership would lead to something like that. They're like, oh yeah, there's always a possibility they're going to be taking spots, but nobody really in their right mind thought that that could happen. They, wanted it. People wanted it to happen. People thought it could happen, but a lot of people just didn't expect that. And when I come and talk about it, it feels wrong that that Trick won here at Slammiversary because that's the thing. Slammiversary is a big deal for them. It's like their PLE that's leading into their biggest PLE, I guess is the best way of saying it. They have a little bit of a different system than WWE with that. But that's the thing. Why have Trick Williams defeat two people that are extremely over? That's the thing I don't understand because it's not like they're like taking out people that are just kind of like old aging stars. Like when he took out Elijah, like that's not a person that you're gonna probably put the title on. Even when he took it off of Joe Hendry, it was like, okay, well, Joe Hendry's worked a good amount of time. We got him the title. He's done some stuff. His title run's iffy depending on how you want to say it. But why would you have him beat Mike Santana and Joe Hendry? You literally have two of your biggest commodities in the men division. Like, because everybody else that you can really think about, like Moose, Leon Slater, Nick Namath, like all of those people are kind of in that mid card tag division area and haven't made that move to go back towards the top. Possibly Frankie Kazarian would have been worth it, but again, why would you have Joe Hendry or Mike Santana lose here? Mike Santana especially because like he's extremely over. The NXT crowd was onto him. The TNA crowd was on him. Everybody was down for him to be the one that dethrones Trick Williams, or at least have a better shot to do that, even if it wasn't like he was going to win flat out here, or like like him pinning. He didn't have to pin Trick Williams. Is basically what I thought. I thought he would pin Joe Hendry to win it. Joe Hendry would, eventually be able to recover from that if that's what they were going to do. But just no, that's not how it works. They pulled this match that wasn't the greatest. It was about 14 minutes long, I think. I don't even have the official cage match on it, but it didn't feel like it was that long at all. And it just came down to a fake injury from Trick Williams and then him running back later and stealing the pin, which again, not a bad ending on like a TV show, but for your PLE, it feels cheapened, especially if he's your champion that's supposed to be dominant. Let him go out there and dominate if you were gonna do that. But but why? Why do this? But yeah, that's my rant on the men's side. On the women's side, I'm unbelievably confused why they did this. Jace barely should be the NXT title holder. She has been in NXT for the longest time, and she finally got her like break, and she goes out there. She's a competent wrestler. She's not that great on the mic. She's not in that position to be a leader of your knockouts division, but you win against a person who is very all over the place in this world with going to different places to different promotions. So she's extremely over. She took out one of your most important champions and Jordan Grace, and you have her lose to the NXT person. This is essentially saying that TNA believes that they are below NXT. They won they won one match. They had three matches against WWE and only won one, and that was a 8-man tag match against Dark State. Like, what? Why have Jace win here? Like, that is just a baffling idea to decide that this was the call, because the NXT championship shouldn't even be on her hands for much longer. She should lose it by whatever next PLE it is, if not on a random NXT. She was basically gifted that and gifted a huge break by Stephanie Vercour, and it has not worked. And being labeled the most beatable champion, like, I know that's what they're trying to lean into, but it makes her look even weaker when your own promos and everything's about her is how terrible she is. And then you're like, hey, she's been terrible, and all the NXT fans and all the NXT locker room seems like they definitely want to beat her and get rid of her. Let's do that same thing, but let's have her against the TNA roster. Why? The TNA Women's Knockouts division is pretty in depth. They have some really good workers there. And so, like, when you do that and you put yourself in such a bad box, it's just it's just baffling to me. And I hate this for TNA because I feel like this partnership is a great idea. And then you do stuff like this and it makes no sense because it just feels similar to there was a couple, was it last year's Forbidden Door where AEW beat like everybody on the other promotions pretty much. And it was like, well, why have this if you're not going to share the wealth? And that's kind of how it feels like. Oh, well, you lost both championships. So now you're expecting that you're going to have people defending them, which they're not going to probably defend them that often. And that leaves your whole top of your division just completely a void because Trick Williams has been in and out, and Jace is going to be in and out because she's also just not really that person to be able to go and have that insane feud with somebody. And I just don't understand it. We'll be completely honest. So hopefully something comes from this. I wanted to do a little rant. I felt like this is kind of happens with TNA. I very rarely get a lot of TNA videos out, but most of them are rant based because I don't know if they're a company anymore. It feels like they just feel like a developmental for WWE at this point, and it's just kind of sickening to see. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Because, like, even like what I was saying, like, Trick Williams at least is like a young champion that could make you look better, but Jace doesn't really make you look better. Not a lot of fans are behind her. I don't think there's a big, giant support system out there that wants to see her win a bunch of stuff. I know a lot of people were like excited that she got her opportunity as NXT champion because she's been in the organization for so long. But I don't think anybody was assuming that they wanted this, and they could have had Marsha as NXT champion, which would have been way cooler, and she could have had some really insane feuds with the giant division that NXT has down there. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.